Hello and welcome to Checking the Vitals, a podcast powered by SpecialtyCare. I'm Todd Schlosser, and joining me today is Dr. Sam Weinstein, the CEO of SpecialtyCare. In this episode, we discuss the SpecialtyCare Medical Mission Trip Endowment, how the endowment is helping perfusionists participate in mission trips, and how Dr. Weinstein's life and career have been impacted by his participation in similar trips. Enjoy the conversation. So Sam, thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to talk to you specifically about the SpecialtyCare Medical Mission Endowment, sort of how it came to be and what it is going to be used for going forward. So can you talk a little bit about what it is?
Well, we are excited to partner with AMSEC in a number of ways, including this, which will be to give the society a fund with which to support their members who are interested in taking medical mission trips. The fund will be directed at fully trained perfusionists for both travel and lodging to go on medical missions.
So is this something that we've been doing for a long time? Is this a new program? How did this come to be?
Well, SpecialtyCare has been involved with this for a long time. Personally, I've been involved with mission trips since I was a resident.
Yeah.
But this is a new engagement with SpecialtyCare and AMSEC, and we're doing it this year in honor of Al Stammers and his winning of the Gibbon Award from their society.
Yeah, he's actually won a number of awards from their society, but I believe the Gibbon Award is their top award.
I think it is. And when you think about the other people who've won the award, in our circle, Cooley, DeBakey, Buckberg, Lillehei, these are the pillars of cardiac surgery. They've invented the specialty. To think that Al Stammer's name goes up there in the pantheon with the rest of them is very exciting.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you have done some medical missions since you were a resident. What were some of those experiences like?
So for me, my career path was changed quite a bit by going on a medical mission trip. I went with an organization called Heart Care International as a resident, still in general surgery at the time.
Oh, wow. After
having that experience of seeing just how much impact one could have in an economically challenged environment, I literally changed the course of my training from adult cardiac surgery to pursue pediatric cardiac surgery so that I would have an opportunity to stay involved with that kind of work in my career.
Oh, wow. So I'd imagine that's something you did throughout your entire career and something you obviously continue to champion now that you're no longer a practicing surgeon, but now are a CEO of SpecialtyCare.
Well, before I retired from my practice, I easily went on more than 30 of these trips.
Oh, wow.
And have had the pleasure to work with an outstanding group of individuals who all dedicate their personal time and finances to making this happen. I haven't been in a few years, part of that's COVID, but I am very excited to promote those who would like to take the trip. SpecialtyCare has always supported individuals in our company to do this work.
Yes.
And now we're going to be able to continue to do that and expand that reach through this fund with AMSEC.
How did you get started in going on these mission trips?
When I was, actually before I was a heart surgeon, when I was a general surgeon, I got invited to go with an organization called Heart Care International. And it changed my career. I realized that while I was going to be a cardiac surgeon, I was going to want to be a congenital cardiac surgeon. And it enabled me over the course of my career to continue to go on mission trips. The experience not only shaped the way I think about healthcare, but it helped me the way I treated patients in the United States as well. I think there are a number of these organizations around the country. Some are big, some are small. But I want to be sure that we do not let money stand in the way of any perfusionist who's willing to donate their time to go help children in need.
And because it is sort of partnered with AMSEC, and I believe you mentioned it earlier, it is specifically for fully trained perfusionists to help get them to these, I believe you said economically challenged locations to help provide their service. I'd imagine in tandem with someone like you, who is a heart surgeon working in those areas.
That's right. Typically, you need a team. You need surgeons, you need nurses, you need perfusionists, you need cardiologists. It would be for both pediatric or adult surgery, by the way.
Okay. So I know just from working here for the past few years that we promote continuing your education. So how specifically do we do that with perfusionists?
Well, we have our own medical department and our database, and we encourage our staff to do research and write their papers. But we've always sponsored each of our perfusion staff to not only join a society each year, but to attend the annual meeting. We think it's very important to support these organizations. They do outstanding work. They look after our people, and anybody who looks after our people, we want to make sure that we're behind them.
So if I'm a perfusionist and I've come across this information, how do I reach out to get involved? How do I apply to get reimbursement for travel expenses, or how does that whole process work?
I think any member of AMSEC just can go ahead online and see where the address is and apply. It's welcome to any certified perfusionist who has the ability to document that they need airfare and lodging subsidized so they can make a trip. We don't want finances to get in the way of anybody who's willing to donate a week of their time to helping those who are less fortunate.
Absolutely. I know that going on a mission trip really helps that area, but what did you get out of going and doing these mission trips in these areas of need?
I think for me, the impact in a trip like that is magnified beyond what you would see in a country like the United States, where there's lots of places for people to go, potentially. In these environments, you have to bring the services to the patients, or they have no chance of getting outside the country. Some of them actually within the country, we have stories of people taking bus rides for days in order to get to the major city. Oh, wow. The thing that I found most gratifying is the face on the parents. For me, I'm a little biased. I look at the dad. The mom always is, it's overwhelming a mother's love and the way she manages the baby, and that's very much a part of our culture. But the dads all have this variety of reactions, and they would like to have the resources to help the child, but they can't. And so when the dad can bring the baby in with the mother, and I can speak to them in confidence that we will take care, and they get to communicate to the family, you've helped every member of that family in succession. And you see the faces when they're coming out of the OR, and you see what they look like when you come home, when they go home, and you see what they look like when they come back to visit, because we go to the same places often for years. It's just a wonderful feeling, and that's a feeling that I want everyone to have a chance to experience.
That's amazing. So you actually went back to the same places, and you would see some of these people that you had worked on grow up.
Absolutely. We've been doing this long enough that there are some of our patients who are actually having their own children now.
That's truly special. So this program is really going to help perfusionists sort of get that experience, but also, while they're getting that experience, help those in need.
I think if you think about it, in a way, both AMSEC and SpecialtyCare are partnering to not only help the current generations of perfusionists and the current generation of families around the world, but easily the future generations as well.
Absolutely. Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining us here on Checking the Vitals. I very much appreciate your time.